Ever notice how a fire needs oxygen to burn? You can have the perfect kindling, the driest wood, but if you try to get too close, try to smother it with your hands, the flame sputters and dies. The exact same principle applies to human attraction, and it's a truth that most men learn the hard way. What if I told you that the very thing you're doing to show your interest, being constantly present, always available, answering every text in a nanosecond, is the very thing suffocating the spark before it can even catch fire? It's a gut-wrenching paradox, isn't it? It explains why the guy who does everything right, the one who is a perfect gentleman, so often gets a friendly pat on the back and the dreaded, "You're like a brother to me," while the man with a mission, the one who is slightly out of reach, captures her imagination. Now, let me be clear. Today, we're not talking about playing childish games or using manipulative tactics. We're talking about changing the game entirely. We're going to deconstruct the single most powerful and misunderstood element of attraction: strategic absence. This isn't about feigning disinterest, it's about cultivating a life so compelling that your time and attention become genuinely scarce and, therefore, incredibly valuable. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll understand that becoming truly magnetic isn't about being there more. It's about making your presence an event. So let's start with the fundamental science of desire. First, let's talk about the raw science of desire. This brings us to point number 1, the psychology of scarcity and perceived value. Our brains are hardwired to assign more value to things that are rare, limited, or difficult to obtain. It's a powerful cognitive shortcut detailed by Dr. Robert Cialdini, a titan in social psychology, in his groundbreaking book, Influence: The Psychology of Persuasion. He calls it the scarcity principle. Think about it, the limited edition sneakers that people line up for, the sold-out concert, the one-night-only art exhibition. Scarcity creates an immediate sense of urgency and ramps up desire.
Intimate, calm, warm, inspiring talk. Now, apply this to yourself. Your time and your undivided attention are your most valuable, non-renewable assets. When you give them away freely, like pamphlets on a street corner, to anyone who shows a flicker of interest, you implicitly signal that they have little value. But when your time is a finite, precious resource because it's allocated to your purpose, your career, your fitness, your passions, it automatically becomes more valuable. I once coached a client, let's call him Mark. Mark was a fantastic guy, but his calendar was a wide open void, ready to be filled by the woman he was dating. She'd text, he'd drop everything. She wanted to meet up last minute, he was there in 20 minutes. The result? She got bored. His total availability, which he thought was a sign of his affection, felt smothering. She felt no challenge, no thrill of the chase. We shifted his focus. He started training for a marathon and took on a challenging project at work. Suddenly, his response wasn't, "I'm free whenever." It was, "I can make time Tuesday at 8 p.m. He wasn't playing hard to get. He was hard to get. And her interest in him absolutely skyrocketed. Scarcity isn't a tactic, it's a reflection of a life filled with purpose. Which leads us to point number 2, the power of intrigue and the Zeigarnik effect. Have you ever watched a great series on Netflix and it ends on a massive cliffhanger? You can't stop thinking about it. You find yourself replaying the last scene, theorizing about what happens next. Your brain desperately craves closure. This isn't just a clever writer's trick, it's a documented psychological phenomenon called the Zeigarnik effect. It was first studied by Soviet psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik in the 1920s, and her research, published in the journal Psychological Forschung, found that people remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks far better than completed ones. Our brains are essentially obsessive detectives. They hate an unsolved case. When you create space, when you're not constantly available to close every single conversational loop, you're handing her mind an unsolved case titled You. Ending a fantastic date on a high note with a confident, "I had an amazing time. I have to run now, but I'll call you later this week," is infinitely more powerful than lingering for hours until the conversation fizzles out into awkward silence. You leave her on an emotional peak with an open loop. Her mind will subconsciously work to close it, which is just a clinical way of saying she'll be thinking about you. She'll wonder what you're doing, replay your conversation, and anticipate your next move. This is how emotional investment begins. It's not manipulation, it's the natural, exciting process of curiosity turning into attraction. You're not a book to be read in one sitting, you're a compelling series with episodes she can't wait to see. But what you do in between those episodes is what matters most, which brings me to my next point. Now, this is arguably the most important part of this entire video, so listen closely. Point number 3, demonstrating a high-value life, not playing games. The internet is a swamp of terrible, recycled advice, telling you to wait exactly 3 hours to text back or to pretend you're busy. That is childish, it's inauthentic, and any woman with self-respect sees right through that hollow performance. The critical difference, the line between being magnetic and being manipulative, is your intention. Are you manufacturing distance to get a reaction, or is that distance a natural byproduct of you living a full, engaging life? A man playing games is sitting by his phone, white-knuckling it, watching the clock. His energy is fundamentally passive and anxious. A high-value man is genuinely unavailable. He's in the gym pushing for a new personal record. He's deep in focus on a work project. He's lost in the flow of his craft. When he doesn't text back immediately, it's because his attention is actually directed elsewhere. His unavailability is authentic, not tactical.
Intimate, calm, warm, inspiring talk. This brings us to point number 4, shifting the dynamic with the investment principle. Think of any great connection like a tennis match. If you're the one hitting every single serve, chasing down every ball, and sprinting all over the court while she just stands there, it's not a game. It's an exhausting solo practice session. The exact same is true for emotional investment. When you're always the one initiating contact, planning the dates, and driving the connection forward, you are doing 100% of the investing. This isn't just a theory, it's a dynamic backed by clinical research. According to a 2019 paper in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, researchers confirmed that perceived partner investment is one of the most powerful predictors of long-term relationship commitment. By doing all the work, you create a weak, unbalanced dynamic where you become the pursuer and she the pursued. This dynamic kills attraction because it signals neediness, not strength. Now, by creating that authentic distance we just talked about, the distance born from purpose, you do something profound. You create a vacuum. You give her the opportunity to invest. You give her the chance to miss you, to wonder about you, and to reach out. That moment she sends that first unsolicited, "Hey, what are you up to?" text. That is the sound of the ball coming back over the net. The entire dynamic shifts in that instant. She is now investing her time and emotional energy into the connection. Your job isn't to constantly chase. It's to build a life so compelling that you create the space where she wants to take a step toward you. This balance is where powerful mutual attraction is built. It's not about making her chase. It's about allowing the connection to finally become a two-way street. Finally, let's navigate the razor's edge here because this is where good intentions can go horribly wrong. This brings us to our 5th and final point, avoiding the pitfall of healthy space versus anxious avoidance. There is a vast, crucial difference between creating healthy, attractive distance and being emotionally unavailable or avoidant. This is where a basic understanding of attachment theory, pioneered by the brilliant psychologist John Bowlby, becomes your most essential compass. Secure independence is the goal, the ultimate green flag. This is when you can confidently say, "Look, I have a slammed week with this project deadline, but I'm genuinely excited to see you on Friday. Let's make it a great night." See the difference? You are communicating your unavailability with clarity, respect, and reassurance. You're not hiding.
You're leading your life. This action tells her, my life is full and I want you to be an important part of it. It builds trust and makes the time you do spend together that much more potent and anticipated. Intimate, calm, warm, inspiring talk. Anxious avoidance, on the other hand, is the red flag. This is the dark side of distance. It's ghosting. It's leaving her on read for days with no explanation, only to reappear with a casual, hey. It's being intensely hot one day and ice cold the next, creating a dizzying cycle of confusion and emotional whiplash. This behavior isn't magnetic. It's a sign of emotional immaturity, and it forges what psychologists call a trauma bond, a deeply unhealthy addiction built on a cycle of anxiety and temporary relief. It's the same intermittent reinforcement schedule that casinos use to get people hooked on slot machines. So ask yourself, does your distance come from a place of security and self-respect, or from a place of fear and a desire to control? Don't be the guy who disappears to create anxiety. Be the man whose absence is felt because his presence is so valuable and authentic. So, let's bring it all together. The blueprint for becoming magnetic isn't about constant proximity. It's about making your presence a valuable, sought-after event. You achieve this not through manipulation, but through genuine self-development. First, you understand the psychology of scarcity, making your time a precious resource because it genuinely is. Second, you leverage the power of intrigue and the Zeigarnik effect, creating a mental cliffhanger not by playing games, but by leaving things on a high note. Third, and crucially, you understand that this distance is a natural result of living a high-value, purpose-driven life. This is what creates the space for a balanced investment, giving her the opportunity to meet you halfway. Finally, you do all of this from a place of secure independence, not anxious avoidance. The mantra is simple: be less available, but infinitely more present when you are together. Here is your challenge for this week. I want you to pick just one personal goal. It could be a workout you've been putting off, a chapter of a book you're writing, or one solid hour spent on a side hustle. For that block of time, your phone goes on silent in another room. You give that goal your undivided, focused attention. You don't do it to post about it or for the validation of telling someone you did it. You do it for you. This is the first powerful step to building a life so fulfilling that strategic distance becomes your natural state of being, not a strategy you employ. If you got value from this deep dive, do me a favor and hit that like button. Subscribe for more content on building unshakable confidence and authentic relationships. And in the comments below, I want you to declare it. Tell me the one goal you are committing to this week. Let's hold each other accountable. Now go build your empire.